present. I'm Jessica Scholl, and I'm a program manager with the International Business Leaders Forum, which is a global organization that works with multinational companies on redefining growth for a more sustainable future. I'm also joining you today wearing another hat, and that is as manager of the Secretariat for the Global Compact UK Network. First, I want to say that I work with businesses diverse in size and sector on a daily basis, and one of the resounding messages that has become clear as we've talked about Rio Plus 20 is that people are sick of the doom and gloom discourse. So I really want to echo the sentiment I hear today, the optimism. It's really encouraging to hear that. And with that said, I would like to change the conversation a little bit to how we pursue new opportunities out of economic crisis. Before I start, can I have a quick hands of who are Global Compact signatories here? Who represent? Okay. Well, if you represent a company that is not a Global Compact signatory and would like to find out more information, please come see me after the event. Okay, so today I want to discuss how to redefine economic growth to meet both the needs of business and the planet. Okay. The mechanisms through which cross-sector collaboration and collective action can catalyze this progress, and why this type of action is imperative for the economic transformation from a consumer-based model to a cyclical, sustainable one. The role of the Global Compact in catalyzing this systems change, and how Rio Plus 20 fits into this transformation. So, redefining growth to meet global challenges. As we're all aware, we're facing several challenges as a global community. They are environmental. It's estimated that we are consuming 1.3 planets currently. They are extreme weather patterns. This is a photograph of London as Venice. They are resource scarcity. We have socioeconomic trends that are causing concern. We have corruption undermining growth, growing social instability, fueling unrest, the rise in relative wealth in different areas, and the decline of wealth in certain parts of the world. And we have geopolitical concerns or changes. We have an economic and power shift from west to east. We have an unemployed youth population that is dissatisfied. And we have a generally declining confidence in global institutions. So, recognizing these barriers to growth as opportunities to redefine growth, IBLF has come up with a paradigm of 3 ways to reconceptualize growth to meet these challenges in a way that creates incentives for business, society, and government, and the planet. So echoing Dr. Verdoris's words of aligning the interests of people, planet, and profits, these 3 forms of growth are aimed at doing that. So first we have smart growth, and this is when companies do more with less. And I would argue that Operation OASIS fits into this category. This relies on innovation and the use of innovative technologies to find better ways to use our resources. Then we have inclusive growth, where some people access more. And this here shows the 2 billion plus people at the bottom of the economy. And these consumers are ready and willing to be engaged in supply chains as distributors, producers, designers, and consumers. There are endless opportunities for businesses there. And we have responsible growth. And this indicates some using less or using differently. This is where we need to engage in consumer education and awareness and learn how we can reduce our consumption patterns for a more sustainable future. And to achieve these different forms of growth, we have to inspire new ways of working. We need sectors to come together to form cross-sector partnerships, to share learnings, to increase dialogue around these issues. And we need new inspirational forms of leadership. This is just a brief overview of some of the initiatives that are seeking to do this. This is just initiatives that IPLF is engaged in, but they are working to create the conditions needed for this type of growth and working with businesses to pursue the various opportunities within those areas. And I'm happy to share these slides later. If somebody wants to actually read these initiatives, I will not bore you going through the list now. Okay, so now let's move on to why and how collaboration and collective action is imperative for an economic transformation from a consumer-based model to a cyclical, sustainable one. And as you can see here, this is a very simplistic distribution of the different resources indicative of different sectors. But what it does is it clearly illustrates that to cause any type of change, to do anything on a systematic level, we need to bring together all these sectors and all the resources within these sectors, including their skills, their mandates, their people power, to create systematic change. Now, there are two drivers of change through collaboration. One is an organization-based driver. And this is looking at the limitations each organization faces. And as we start facing more and more challenges that we are as a global economy, rising unrest, limited resources, questioned mandates, organizations are facing even greater limitations. To overcome those limitations, they need to engage with other sectors to have access to their resources and their new ways of thinking. So in this way, organizations will naturally seek to collaborate with others that can help them achieve the results they want. For instance, in a developing market, there may be a company that wants to distribute its products wider into the regions, but the infrastructure limits their ability to do so. So partnering with governments to make strategic infrastructure investments and having this sponsored by donor engagement, and then engaging local communities in the maintenance and the upkeep of these infrastructures might be the most efficient way for that company to scale up its distribution network. In developed markets, a company looking to reduce its carbon footprint may want to lessen its packaging. But then when it tries to work with its packagers, they face antitrust legislation where they can't engage in that type of interaction. So working with government regulators to not completely eradicate antitrust legislation, which I don't think would be a good idea, but to reform it in a strategic, systematic way that meets the needs of a changing business economy and a changing environmental needs. And involving civil society in this process to ensure that it's transparent and accountable. Now, the other driver of this form of collaboration is known as systems change, or the need for it. It's called different things in different disciplines. New institutional economics calls it institutional change. Organizational change theories espouse the same components of what I am discussing here. And these central components are the realization that all systems are based on different nodes, interconnected nodes that need to be addressed simultaneously to create the type of change that we need to completely transform an economic system. So, recognizing this, these are some of the factors that when you're trying to change an economic system, you need to pay attention to. When, say, you're Operation OASIS and you're trying to get the buy-in of political systems, you need to pay attention to the voters. You need to talk the language that they're talking. And when you're trying to engage large corporations, you need to speak their language. And so I won't go through this whole chart, but the middle three columns represent different sectors and the components of those sectors. The gain column, Global Action Network, represents how a transformative catalyst for large systemic change. So when you're organizing an initiative that focuses on systemic change, these are the components you want to see. You want to have the control unit be based in participants. You want visionary leadership. You want collaboration and action learning and mutual respect. These are the values that embody the Global Compact. It's the principles that the Global Compact operates on. For those of you that are unfamiliar with the Global Compact, it is a strategic policy initiative for businesses that are committed to aligning their operations and strategies with the 10 universally accepted principles in the areas of human rights, labor, anti-corruption, and the environment. It was launched in 2000 by Kofi Annan to put a human face on the global market. And today, the global economy, the Global Compact, has evolved to do just that. It is a leadership platform, the largest in the world, based on the development, implementation, and disclosure of corporate responsibility practices. It has over 8,000 signatories in 135 countries. It's based on 10 principles that are drawn from international consensus, such as found in the ILO and UN Environmental Program. It's a network of companies and stakeholders that come together to share knowledge and learn from each other's experiences. It's a forum for connecting and communicating with others and building coalitions. It's a platform from which to launch new ideas and innovative ideas. And it's supported by local networks in over 90 countries. It's important to note that the Global Compact is not a regulatory initiative. It gets lots of criticism for not having any teeth. However, that is not part of the systems change process. The Global Compact is an aspirational, voluntary initiative that seeks to engage as many stakeholders as possible in the change process. It listens to governments, it listens to companies when they say, these are the obstacles we're facing. Help us, guide us in how to overcome them. And it engages stakeholders to have their say in the development of these guidances and these principles and the different tools that they produce. So, I'm not going to go into exactly how the Global Compact is catalyzing economic systems change, or into all the details, but I will talk about how the role of local networks. So in the UK here, me and my colleague manage the UK network, and we are composed of around 60 fee-paying signatories. You have to be a signatory to be in the local network, but you do not all signatories are in the local network. Signatories engage with us to take a more active role in the Global Compact, to contextualize it, and to learn how to apply it in the UK. How to take the large policy directives and discuss with other companies how to overcome the challenges of implementing those policies. They provide a safe space for knowledge sharing and learning and collective problem solving. So I won't go into all of this, but when looking to catalyze change, the local networks come under reform. Companies are making incremental progress by aspiring to improve performance. Local networks are bringing people together to reform systems and laws. And then occasionally you come to a point where there's evidence of a large transformation. And right now, Rio Plus 20 is a symbol of that point. So, Rio Plus 20, again, I will share these slides if I would like them, is composed of several different conferences, culminating in the intergovernmental negotiations at the UN Conference on Sustainable Development. Prior to that, however, is the UN Global Compact Corporate Sustainability Forum, Innovation and Collaboration for the Future We Want. At this forum, Global Compact local networks have been invited to host events. The success of these events are based on two things. One, the variety and diversity of endorsers or participants that are planning the event, and 2, the number of those involved. So we'd be very happy to work with Operation OASIS on getting the word out there at the Corporate Sustainability Forum, but they need engagement of other actors, civil society, governmental departments, big business, to come together and co-sponsor an event. And we can talk more about that, how it happens later.